going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Round Review, Round 13, which is meant to be the easy buy. Not quite easy for my side, so we had a bit of a poor week, unfortunately. Had a bit of a bad stretch. So 1935, so round rank of 33,716. So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I was hoping I'd be able to sort of have a good week, even though it was sort of one of the ones where I probably thought I was a bit, not weaker on, but I was more planning for round 14, 15 to be my better buy. So unfortunate we didn't quite have a good one, but puts me in an overall rank of 9, 5, 4, 6. I'm just getting up here. So that put me down 1138 spots. So, yeah, not great. But considering I thought I had a pretty bad week, only going down just over 1,000 spots is pretty good. So not too bad that didn't go down too much. Plus 3, negative 3. Negative 3 I'll start with. I did it on the pod last night and I'll do it again today. Tim English, what are you doing, mate? Certainly wasn't speaking English that on Friday night with a poor, 76? Lowest score of the year. So I had him last week for his highest score of the year, brought him in, but didn't get to watch the game. So I had him captain this week, got to watch the game, and he has his lowest score for the year. So that's just sort of the way fantasy works for my premiums. I never can really bring a premium in for a prolonged period and them actually go well, except for Rory Laird last year. But yeah, he's negative 3. Plus 3, I'm actually going to give it to the duo of George Wardlaw and Matt Johnson. So coming on for 97 and 93 respectively was very, very handy. And they were able to knock out, so I think it was Weddle 61, Pedler 71, Dylan Williams 65, and I think Tom Green 73 was actually the ones that I dropped off, which was quite surprising that they were the ones dropping off. But so those two obviously pushed them out, which was great. And I wasn't actually expecting Wardlaw. I was going into Sunday thinking, okay, well, Pedler's 71's probably going to count for me. And yeah, but it was good. So a couple of 90s from those guys there. They get my plus 3. We had some other good performers though. So we'll go through the team. Jordan Dawson on debut, 105. Looking at it now, I probably could have gone Sarong or Jack Sinclair for a little bit cheaper and waited a week on Dawson. I just wanted him in. It was just like stuff. It's been too long. I know I've got probably one less premium this week, so that might have stuffed me up a little bit, but I'm happy that I got Jordan Dawson anyway. He's going to be expensive. It's going to be hard to get him if you don't have him anyway. So I was just glad that I could use that week to bring him in. Plus as well, I've only got, I think it's Dawson, Dacos, Will Day, and Darcy Cameron are my only premiums on buy this week. So I don't actually have very many premiums at all. So I was happy to sort of take the risk of getting Dawson because I just wasn't a huge fan of the other options going around last week. But we are a fan of a couple this week, which I'll go through my trades after. Dacos 101, just doing his job, which is good again to another ton for him. Lockie Whitford, Lockie Ash, both of them saved their scores to get there. So I think Lockie Whitford had a 36-point last quarter, Lockie Ash a 40-point last quarter. Just a shame they couldn't have done that for another quarter or two and got the tons and whatever. But Ash will probably go for me next week. And Whitfield depends. He probably will stay because I think he's around the top 6. But we'll have to see. Depending, I might be able to move on a guy like him. Will Day, 98. I think he did something to his shoulder. I didn't actually see the game, so I'm not sure. But apparently he got a shoulder injury. 98 was still good for him to get there. So I hope he's okay. I hope there's nothing injuries. I think the injury is because time recording, I think it's like, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, Adelaide time. I'm actually just going to quickly look at the injury list to see if Will Day was named on the injuries. It's good to see Dan Butler get off as well. I was hoping he'd sort of get off, even though it doesn't relate too much to fantasy. So Hawthorn, yeah, so nothing about Will Day there. So Will Day looks like he'll be fine. So 98, I'll probably hold him at this stage, but he's one that I could potentially trade out and I've probably got more money. But I think Weddle's probably the one that's going to go. He got 61. He's done really well for me, made about, I think, just over 100k for me with a couple of decent scores. Break even to 44. If he popped another 80, he's still got a little bit of cash to make. But I just feel his buys this week, I can go him to another rookie or get the money from him and go another rookie up. So I think he'll probably go, but it could be maybe Day goes and maybe you hold Weddle. I'm not sure, but at the moment, Weddle is going. Wilmot 68, very handy to have his 68. Obviously, didn't have him on field this week, and he wouldn't have counted my score anyway. But I think it's going to be hopefully quite important over the next 2 weeks playing. A few people would have got rid of him, but Sydney St Kilda and next couple. So I'll obviously hold him. He's probably got a little bit more money to make as well, and hopefully he's very handy. Tom Stewart obviously had the bye. He'll come back in with this week, which is nice. Tim Taranto 129 is just an absolute gun. We can't really say too much more about him. Just look at this. Look at from round 6 onwards. One score below 120. That was a 117. He got rested a fair bit in that game with only 77%. It's just crazy. I'm telling you, there is a game coming where he's going to have a lot of marks and a lot of tackles. He hasn't quite had that 150-odd score. He got a 145, which was close, with 6 marks, 7 tackles. But he's going to pop off for a 170-odd score, I think, sometime throughout this year. 1.07 million. He could be the first player to go to 1.1 million based on, what he's doing at the moment. Andrew Brayshaw, 100 on debut. Considering I had English captain, a lot of people had Brayshaw captain. I wasn't actually too upset that he only got 100. So at least he got 100. Wet conditions didn't really suit him. He'll be fine moving forward, and he's still a great target for anyone that didn't jump on him last week. Tom Green, 73. So his scores of late haven't been obviously huge, but that's his first real poor score of the season. First score under 80. He'd gone, 3 scores from 108 to 115 before that. So he's fine. And then he went, obviously, 2 big scores here. He'll be fine moving forward. He did get a hard tag, and he went well in the last quarter when that tag was sort of lifted. So I'm not too worried with him. The Bont just been just consistent as they come from round 4 onwards. He hasn't gone below 90 all year, but from round 4, he's only gone below 100 once with a 90, and since round 8, since round 6, you could say, he's only had 1 score below 110, which was a 108 and the 90, so 2 games. But he's just been great. He's doing what we wanted him to do at the start of the year, and we thought he would get that full-time mid-roll, and one of my positives as a starting pick. Just unfortunately, I didn't quite get too many other good starting picks. Rory Laird, 124, so again, responded after that Paul, 81 last week. It's funny that we've said Laird's had a bit of a down year, but still averaging 107, and he's still, top 15 scorer in the comp at the moment. So he'll come home, I think, with a wet sail, and he'll average, I think, 115 on the run home. I've got no real worries about that. It would be a great target post his bye. Jack Steele saved himself as well, 67 points second half, only 21 points the first half. I'm hoping that second half is maybe a little bit of things to come, and maybe he's going to start kicking on. Still didn't look really 100% throughout the game with that knee, but his shoulder's obviously fine. He's still tackling, which is great. That third quarter, he looked really good. I think he scored 45 points. He looked like the Steele of what we know. So I'm hopeful that he can get back to that form and keep going up. But I've lost, 111k when I could have gone Dawson that week. Probably got Sarong last week, and then I'd be fine. But yeah, unfortunately, it's this year. It's been the 50-50 calls for me that haven't quite gone my way. So probably on another year, I'd be doing quite well. But unfortunately, not quite happening for me this year. George Wardlaw, 97. Matt Johnson, 93. As I mentioned, both very good. Both got really low break even. Both went up 50-odd K. And Wardlaw, again, is one that he'll be about 500k next week. He may go, but I'm not fussed if I keep him because of how good he's been. And Matt Johnson's still got a bit of cash to make, so he'll be fine there as well. Windhager jumped on last week with the 66, looked pretty good, so I think he'll hold his spot in the side, and I'm pretty happy I jumped on him because who knows, I might not have jumped on him this week. Still think he's a good downgrade target this week. He's a little bit more expensive, but I think job security is better than like your Sheldricks and guys like that could potentially not be there this week. Well, I know for a fact that I think I just saw on my phone before that Mullen from Geelong has got an adductor injury, so he won't be playing this week. So, unfortunately, I know a lot of coaches brought him in. Maybe that was going to be relying on a green dot for them, but he won't be playing, so we'll have to see. Campbell Chester, 50. He was good laid in as well, and he looked pretty good. Had the most CBAs of any West Coast mid, which was interesting. I think he had 18 with 6 tackles. So, getting a 50, made a little bit of cash. He's up to 283. Break him to 15. I'm hopeful that he's going to be there in round 15, but if he's not, then I guess that he'll come back in at some point. But yeah, hopefully he does. English captain was obviously it was an awful decision. Him and obviously Goulden went VC. Thinking about it now, I think still had good matchups. Goulden against the Saints, no Parker, no Mills. I thought Goulden would have had CBAs. They gave him instead to Heaney and Papley for some reason. I don't know why. More Papley. Heaney, I'm like, well, he probably should have been a mid his whole career, and Papley, I just don't understand. He's a really great forward, just not a midfielder. But Goulden played forward and didn't score well, and then I went to English, who I thought was a safe captain. I probably should have gone Taranto. Would have gained me about 53 points, which would have made my week not too bad. I probably wouldn't have lost any ranks. But yeah. English poor. Ryan Marshall, 129, was great on the Thursday night, so he just continues to tick along. So I haven't actually looked really at his numbers because he's sort of just been a guy I've just had there and just sort of forgotten about a bit. But again, he's had, 3 scores below 100. That was against where he got injured No, hang on. Did he get injured? No, yeah, he got injured towards the end of that game, but he got rested a lot of the last quarter against North. 96 against restrictive Reeves, and then the 72 at the first game of the year. Besides that, he's been great all year, so definite top 2 ruck. Max Heath obviously didn't play. We talked about Goulden. Dunkley 145. He's just going to be a very solid VC captain option. On the run home, he's now more expensive than what he was at the start of the year, which is good. He's repaying the faith of everyone that started with him. Yeah, so he was above what his starting price was last week, but he's now gone obviously above. His scores of late obviously been great. Obviously, one score below 112 in his last 6, and of course the one I had in VC. He got an 88, but he might be my VC this week. So he's just been very, very good. So very happy to own him, and I know a lot of people are. Connor Rosie 106 again, just solid as a rock, getting his job done. But over the, I think, is that 4? Yeah, 4 tons in a row. Obviously, 2 of them been lower, 2 of them been pretty good, but again, he's a forward. As long as they're getting tons each week, you're pretty happy with that, and I think he'll be a top 6 forward. It's just Butters is probably doing a lot better than him at the moment. Darcy Cameron, 96. He was, again, good pickup from last week, 109. Then he got the 96 this week. So, in a pretty tough matchup. Got the bye this week, but I think he'll be solid. He might be potentially around the mix for a top 6 forward, but I'll hold him for the next maybe month or so. He'll be a luxury upgrade. He might be up in the mid 700s when I can upgrade him, but he's been very good. Dylan Williams, 65. Again, solid. Bulldogs, I was hoping he might have been able to crack maybe an 80 or so. But 65, he may go this week for me, just so I can make sure of... Because my goal is to have 22 playing next week. I want to try and take full advantage as much as I can for maybe the first 2 bye weeks, not quite going as what I wanted. I only went up about 500 spots last week. So... and then obviously dropped 1,100 this week. So is that right? Did I add that up correctly? So round 11, I was 8.9. Round 12, I was 8.4. Okay, yeah. And then dropped down to 9.546. Yep, that's right. So, but yeah, I've just been sort of the last month, as I said, I've been stuttering a little bit. So I'm hopeful that I can push towards top 5K, hopefully before the buys end, and then we can maybe push for maybe top 2,000, top 1,000 for the year, but we'll have to see. Humphrey obviously didn't play. Pedler 71, very happy to take him. The thing that I liked last week, I was able to loot Pedler, Winhager and Wilmot and take the best score out of all 3. And obviously Pedler scored the most, took him, but he didn't even count anyway, so it didn't actually matter. But he was good, but he'll probably go this week. Drury obviously didn't play, and then Van Rooyen with a 49, a pretty tough matchup, so he is a guy that potentially could go as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So there's not too much. It's been obviously a shorter review, went through that pretty quickly. But in terms of trades for this week, I think it's almost pretty straightforward for my team, personally. So at the moment, I'm going Weddle down to Sturt at the moment. I think he's probably the guy that's going to play out of him. So it was obviously Mullen, Sturt, and Sheldrick. I don't think Sheldrick will be there, unfortunately. I think Mills and Park will be back. I think Sheldrick will get pushed out. And I think Sturt's probably the one out of the 3 that will be named. If all 3 are dropped, I might even go early on like a Ryan Marrick and just bring him in because I think he'll probably be the best rookie. But anyway, Weddle go down to a rookie. I think I'm just going to go Pedler to Fife, make a little bit of cash there, plus obviously get a rookie off ground. Obviously, the good thing is because if Humphrey's my final rookie, it'll be Fife and Humphrey for that last position, so I'll be able to loop maybe the 2 post-bye. But I'm hopeful I can get all my rookies off field before the bye, pre-round 16. And then my other trade will be going a Dylan Williams up to Jack Sinclair. At the moment, that's mark grade. I could move on a Will Day instead, have 22 playing this week with Dylan Williams and hold Williams for another week, but I feel that I'd rather have 21 this week, have Day for next week, and I think it works better for my team. So at the moment, Williams is going to Sinclair. I think I've got like 11k in the bank. So, no, actually I've got 0k in the bank actually with Sturt, but if I get Sheldrick or someone cheaper, then I'll have a little bit more. But at the moment, they're my trade plans. Obviously, if I need to get rid of Day to Sinclair, that might be what I do, because next week I want to target Mills, if he plays this week, Ben Keys, Elliot Yeo, guys like that are underpriced that I can go some rookies to, get those rookies off field, and then post-buys I'll be able to downgrade your Winhagers and your Johnsons who'll be on my bench at that point and go them to rookies, and then obviously upgrade your Fifes and stuff like round 16, 17, 18. So that's obviously the plan that I want to be doing post-buys. So it's pretty much it. As I said, been a bit of a poor last month. I think I've had 33,000 this week. Over 10k last week, 35,000 the week before that, 18.6 the week before that, 12.8. So I haven't finished top 10k for a round since round 8, which I have been a little bit unlucky with a few decisions, like obviously the Jack Steele decision over a Brayshaw or a Dawson and guys like that in like round, I think I brought him in round, did I bring him in round 8? Yeah, I brought him round 8. So pretty much round 8 was obviously a good week. If I didn't bring in Steele, it would have been even a better week. But since then, it's been a bit stuttering, unfortunately. But hopefully, these last 2 buys and post buys, that's normally fun enough where I actually start making a little bit of ground. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if we can sort of salvage something from this year, and hopefully get a few wins in the Content Creators Cup. So it's not as bad. So I think I'm 4-9 or something in that at the moment, which is not great. But hopefully we can get some wins. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below your plus and negative threes. Let me know how you guys scored in round 13. Any trade questions, how you guys are looking for round 14. Maybe comment below how many guys you're expecting to be green dots this week. Are you guys going to have over 18, or are you under 18 before trades and going to get just over 18? Because I'll be interested to see. So let me know in the comments below what you guys are looking at this week. And yeah, make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as we head towards 1,200 subscribers. We just passed 1,150. So thank you guys very much for the support there. We hit another milestone. So 1,200 is the next one. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Turn notifications on so I don't miss when I go live or upload any other content in the future. Actually, 1,152. So we're 48 away from 1,200, so make sure you subscribe. Yeah, social media in the description below, so make sure you go and follow me across all those, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the Wednesday trade talk video, as always, as we look ahead to round 14, which starts in, what is it, just over 48 hours, so well, about 49 hours, but looking keen for it, and hope you guys have a good week, and yeah, we'll chat soon. All right, I'm out. Cheers.